Welcome to Booze and Glues, a justifiable excuse for two friends to spend time together, cross crafts off their to-do list, and, of course, drink. With glue guns and wine glasses at the ready, join Jessie Shepherd and Tabitha Davis as they attempt to simultaneously chat, craft, chug and charm. Will they consume alcohol? Definitely. Will they actually accomplish anything? Debatably. Will they bitch and complain? Inevitably. Will it be a bloody good time? Absolutely. And if things don't turn out just as planned, well, that's okay too. Because booze.
Are we going?
I'm going.
Yeah, we've been going.
Jessie.
I'm Tab.
This is Booze and Glues. I'm going to talk like this. Maybe it will sound normal on the podcast.
When you play it back. So Jessie and I did just hear a snippet of ourselves being played back for a mic check, and we're a little concerned that we sounded like the Micro Machines guy.
Well, you know how on the podcast app you can like play a podcast at like
1.5?
Yeah, 5 or
Yeah.
whatever, and they're just a little faster, so you get through it just a little faster.
It sounded like
That's what it sounded like.
Maybe they listen to us at half. Most people are like, more, and we're like, just normal talking. So tonight we're drinking gumdrops, and by drinking I mean Jessie just finished hers.
Done so. That was delish.
Pretty quickly. I was a little on the fence about it at
I
first.
like it.
But actually it's pretty good. I found a recipe online. I think Disney in Orlando, some of the places you can have alcohol.
At California Adventure, there's alcohol.
I know there's, yeah. And so get this, I just found this out. They have alcohol in this new Star Wars land too.
Wow. You could go to that cool Club 33. Don't they have alcohol there?
Oh, yes. But no, you can't go to it. Nobody can.
The little Down syndrome family that I follow on Instagram just went.
That's nice.
But they're
Yeah.
like, she writes books and she's famous.
You have to have it in for sure. The club membership is like wild.
It's like
It's like $10,000 a person
yeah,
a year. Yeah.
and most companies like own spots in it, so they
And they don't give them up.
Yeah,
Or like people who are
Oh.
members, they like pass them on to their grandkids and stuff. And so like it's rare that a spot even opens up that you can become a member. But
Crazy.
they say there's at least a waiting list of 10 years long before anyone gets in.
I've
I know a
heard
guy who's
crazy
on
things
it.
like that about, because can't you stay at the Princess Castle?
yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like an insanely long waiting list too, right?
Same thing, yeah. I don't know. But I think in Orlando, Disney, there are more
Mm-hmm.
alcohol accessible places.
We gotta get to Florida.
Yeah, it was some like other thing that wasn't Disneyland where they said it was. But yeah, they had these gumdrop cocktails. And so I thought since we're making gumdrops, we should drink gumdrops.
Delish.
Brad is over there chomping on the sugar.
Oh, it's so delicious.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's got some it was just the ingredients. It wasn't like a recipe, so I had to kind of mess with it a little bit.
Okay.
The first time we tasted it, it tasted like we were drinking syrup, like raspberry syrup. Like it was like thick and weird.
Okay.
But raspberry vodka, pineapple juice, cranberry juice, 7-Up, and what I can only assume is pronounced Chambord. I don't know. It's a raspberry liqueur. It looked fancy as fuck when we were buying it.
It did look really fancy.
Yeah. I was like, we are so grown up. Look at us with our fine liqueur purchase.
Mm-hmm.
So, real quick side note, just thought I'd let you know. Today I had my little brother hanging out with me.
Which little brother?
I only have one. His name's Nathan.
He is here and you didn't tell us?
He's not a mini me, and yes, he's here in town.
I cannot believe you're keeping him from us. Why isn't he with us tonight? Guest posting.
You guys are very similar. Don't act like it's not mini me.
We want to hang out with Nathan.
Okay, well, I'll let him know.
Nathan, where are you?
He's gonna be here for like another 2 weeks or so.
So rude.
Sounds like he'll be here at the next podcast.
Ooh.
But I accidentally, and I say accidentally that I didn't know, but I took him into Bevmo with me, and I wanted some beer, and so I tried to buy some beer, but he was standing right next to me, and so it's like, can we see your IDs? And I was like,
They make you check both?
here, yeah, right? And
Yeah.
So they
I
checked.
thought it was just the person that's buying.
He's like, I'm not buying anything. They're like, you still I have to see your ID. And he's like, oh, well, I'm underage. And then the guy looks at me, he's like, is that your son? And I'm like, this kid?
You say, yes, it is.
Right. I'm not going to say, yes, it is. I said, no, he is not my son. And so then they're
He's
like,
asking you that because that's how you would get away with buying
Yes.
it.
That was the out.
that was the only way, apparently. Because
Yes.
they're like,
I've taken my children into Bevmo. They have never carded them. Now, Adam and I were at Bevmo one time trying to check out. We had been over at like the AT&T store, and then we popped into Target, and then we went to Bevmo. I left my wallet in the car at the AT&T store. Like, we were parked all the way across the parking lot. And they're like, oh, you have to go get it. I mean, they were
How come it's different there
serious.
than anywhere else?
I don't know.
You can't, apparently, if you look on the door, which I didn't know, it says you can't, anyone under 21 can't be in the store.
I wonder
Yeah.
if it's specific.
Unless
It's like
it's a child.
because that's legit what they
The
are.
only thing that's there. So
But
there's no
but
reason
they
for
say
you to be there.
Now, see, on top of that is that I also bought ginger beer. I was trying to buy ginger beer.
Oh, well, yeah, they have mixers.
Right. So I was like, how do you know it can't
They
be?
have a fine cheese selection in the back. Did you know that?
Oh.
I didn't know.
It's in a cooler by the fancy wines that are locked up.
Oh.
So apparently I now have a 24-hour band at Bevmo for that.
What?
They
Yeah.
kicked you out?
Mm-hmm.
For 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
And I like looked at
Because
the,
you can't go buy alcohol anywhere else.
I
in
know.
town.
You're like,
Right.
lost my business, dude.
and I'm like, dude, I think he knew that like even it's a BS thing. I was like, okay, well, what's
I mean,
to stop?
he doesn't want to lose his job.
I understand, but it's like, what's to stop me from coming in here after your shift's over?
Yeah.
Him in the car because they're like, we're
I guess
afraid
they're just figuring they're ruining your time.
Yeah.
Like, if you're buying booze for this kid, you're going to have to wait a full 24 hours.
Right, I'm like,
He's gonna find another
right,
overage
as if I
person.
can't, as if I can't go anywhere else.
To a gas station.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of wild. But yeah, they full on were like, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go to the car. Like, you check out. And they're like, no, because you were with him. Like, they wouldn't let him check out. So I was like trying not to lose my shit because, yes, it is like that guy just doesn't want to lose his job.
Right.
But after having been in a cell phone store for like 2 hours, I was thin on patience,
Yes.
to say the least. And I was like doing everything I could, marching across the parking lot, not to just like blow. And so I finally got there, got my stuff, start hiking back across the parking lot.
What?
Here comes Adam. And I'm like, what happened? And he goes, the guy just let me.
Oh,
I think he saw how mad I was when I left. And Adam was probably like, she's not coming back. Like, she's not going to come back and pick me up. Yeah.
that's what I should have done. Yeah, he's over 21. Go out and go get your. I mean, I know it's way over there by
should've
Best
just-
Buy, but
And like, this kid? Who? I don't even know who this kid is. Doesn't he work here?
is he not one of your employees? That's weird. Kept asking me if I needed help.
And just let him be on his
Yeah.
own. In a foreign state.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like
Just
now,
survive for yourself,
and
kid.
now that I have Blake, I never bring my purse in anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's all our same money. He has a wallet in his pocket. Why do I need to bring a purse? And sometimes they'll like ask, because they just ask for his ID. Sometimes I just want to be like, the card that he's using is literally my credit card account. His name, like, he's not even technically
On it.
on it. He just has like usage privileges.
Right.
It's my money buying this. But
They don't care.
it just doesn't make sense. Because to me, it would make sense to ID both people
Yeah.
all the time.
Right. You're like,
I'm glad that they don't necessarily.
Oh, yeah.
But
Well, I feel as if it's gonna there's ways around it.
But I mean, if I'm at Target and I buy stuff, I give them my ID. They never worry about anybody else who's with me.
right, yeah,
You
that's
know?
not- yeah,
So, I mean, I understand that it is like basically exclusively alcohol, but I mean, if it's the rule for alcohol, it should be like
Right.
the rule for alcohol everywhere.
we're trying
Yeah.
to think of like liquor stores if they
Raise-
ask for both of ours.
I don't know. I never go into liquor stores sober.
I don't think I've ever been asked with any friends that I've had that were underage. It's like, oh, can I see his ID at a liquor store either?
Yeah, I like just we haven't been to a liquor store in a while. I haven't been to a liquor store in a while.
Yeah, I imagine.
Other than the ones that know us, which that's embarrassing.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking, like, I imagine if I was working at a liquor store and like a bunch of what looked like teenage kids came in, I would be like, go home.
But one of them had an ID.
Show me your ID. Okay, all these kids, go home.
But all he's gonna do is bring the alcohol home. They
I
still
know.
gonna drink it. See, that's the thing. I mean, what are you gonna do?
They're
If
not-
people are gonna
Oh, if somebody's
get those kids alcohol,
determined-
they're gonna get those kids alcohol.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's always like a homeless person that you can pay an extra $5 and give one of the beers to.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, in every town,
right.
even in tiny Chester, that was a thing. How's Brad doing over there? Those gumdrops.
Hard to get off, but delicious.
It was really embarrassing because at the big liquor store by our house, Blake used to live like across the street, and it was very early on in our relationship. We went over there to go get something to drink, and the guy was like, "Oh, like who is this?" You know, and Blake's like, "Oh, like this is my girlfriend or whatever." He's like, "You're so lucky. This is such a nice guy. We like him a lot. Like blah blah blah." And I'm like,
them every day.
and I'm like, I'm not sure if I trust your judgment. The fact that you know him that well is probably a bad sign.
That's a little disturbing.
But then I just kind of figured that like they were like that to everybody because it makes you feel special. You know, everybody that
Right.
walks in the door, they act like, you know, you're my best friend, blah, blah, blah. Blake says we haven't been there in probably a year. I don't remember the last time we went to go buy alcohol there. Blake saw him at the bank, and he's like, "Yo, what's up? Where have you guys been? Like, we miss you." So
Try
it's not
to
just
party so hard. We're grown ups now.
it's not just that he really knew Blake.
For real. Well, I mean, Blake is very amiable. Like,
That's true.
he definitely is not shy, and he talks to people like they're his friend.
Yes, he does.
So, I mean, that guy probably felt special too, because he was like, "Oh, it's my buddy."
That's also who we used for the beer out at the wedding.
Oh yeah,
The Star
That's
Liquor.
cool.
Because we're so classy.
It does not matter. I
Right.
don't think anyone cares.
Yeah.
They were like, "Beer, good."
We could have bought one less freaking keg. So mad.
Yeah, we ended up doing the same thing. Like, we had extra, like tons extra,
What'd you do with
and
it?
He came and picked it up before we were going to drink it while we were cleaning up, like the next day.
Oh,
He
yeah.
came and got it before we got there.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's messed up.
Ours we had for, we had it in like ice for a few days, but I mean,
You can't drink that.
you can't drink that much beer even if you try.
Yeah, it's because we had paid for because he's like, "Do you guys want to bring it back when you get a chance or whatever? Or do you want me to come get it?" And I'm like, "I don't want to worry about finding a truck, getting the freaking kegs in the truck and bringing them back to you. Just come and get them." But he said he'd be there later. And then my mom was like, "Yeah, he already came." I'm like, "Okay."
Rude. That was my beer.
And you didn't stop him?
You didn't leave any pictures? That's funny. Speaking of your wedding,
It's been a year.
it has been a year.
Is that not wild?
Full year. I have your card for you.
My parents are so funny. They came over and the day before and gave us 2 cards. One on the envelope said Jesse and Blake. One said Blake and Jesse. I'm like, what the heck? We're one person now. You can not one person.
We're
but
blessy.
like, you guys wanted to get us 2 cards. And my mom's like, we couldn't pick.
Okay, that's cute.
So one was like sweet, and then one was funny. I
This
thought it
is-
was kind of sweet.
That is really nice.
There's
This-
only money in one of them.
Oh, bummer. They could have just split it up and put it in both. And
Right?
you'd be like, woo.
I know.
So you keep the
True.
money one and say, Blake, this one's for you.
Well, the purpose of it was for our dinner that weekend.
Mm.
So.
Oh, nice. Yeah, this is not an anniversary card. It's your wedding card. Do you remember I said
Did I
I'll
never get a
find it
wedding card?
eventually?
You found it.
And I'll give it to you on your first anniversary. Well, I found it like 6 months ago.
Right. I love it.
So I saved it. It really was a cute card.
I love it. I'll have to
So,
punch it and add it to my
I don't
card
know if-
collage.
It's not very punchable.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe it'll be by its own. By its own.
By its own. You want to hear my latest lawn drama?
Yeah.
So, this dipshit that I hired to mow my lawn, I legit was not asking for much.
Just a little lawnmower.
I was like, can you please just, and we don't have a mass amount of lawn. It's
No.
small. Mow my lawn and just edge it, so stuff isn't growing out along the edges
Sure.
once a week. That's all I wanted, And it's been almost a year. And it's just been like issue after issue. He just wouldn't show up sometimes for like a while. And then I text him and like, hey, is somebody going to mow my lawn?
But
Like,
he's still charging you.
out of control. Well, I just pay him at the first of the month for the whole month.
Right.
And so, yeah, then like he just wouldn't mow my lawn for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, And then I'm like, what's
That's
going
not what I'm
on?
paying for.
And then it's like, oh, well, I'm out of town. Okay. So have somebody else do it, or don't charge me, or let me know that ahead of time. Like, lots of options. And then, I mean, we've had a few other, like, just little wrinkles with stuff where it's like, hey, can you guys not,
Mm-hmm.
And then recently, they've been mowing, but they have not been edging at all. And, like, the last time, it was like they did it so fast that they missed spots. There was like little patches of grass that were like way taller than the rest of the grass. It was weird. But I was like pretty irritated. I took a picture of it and I was like, hey, like what's going on? Oh, I had another guy doing it for me for the last couple weeks. I'll come by and edge it tomorrow. I'm like, I'm paying you to mow and edge my lawn once a week.
Yes.
That's all I want. It's just not that hard. So, I'm sitting here watching the guy across the street, and I've noticed him doing the lawn and like yard care at the house across the street, in the past. He pulls up with his little trailer and stuff, and like he is like on it. I mean, he even gets like the leaf blower out and like blows off their front porch and all the stuff away, like he's just obviously gives a crap about what he's doing. And so I sent Adam, we had like just woken up. It was like a Saturday morning. I sent Adam over, and because I had pajamas on and I wasn't going over there. I'm like, can you just ask him for a card or ask him if he's taking new clients? So I talked to him. He's going to do the yard. He like has his own business. I mean, this other guy, supposedly it's his business, but obviously he gives no fucks.
Doesn't care.
Yeah. But he like seems pretty reputable, this new guy. So I'm excited like for him to come do it. He called me, talked about what we want to do. Okay, I'll come do it tomorrow morning. And then like I'll do it on Monday. So, water your yard at this time of night. And then don't have it set for this day. And I'll be there this day every week. That kind of stuff. I'm like, oh, already better communication.
Yes.
I like this. So I just text the guy. Oh, and he's like, and I'll bill you at the end of the month. Like, he's going to do the work, and then I'm going to pay him.
That sounds nice.
And what was irritating about the other guy was that he would, like, text me, like, I was supposed to pay him on the 1st. He'd text me, like, on the 28th, say, Venmo me, and I'll come by and do your yard in the morning. And I'm like, you should come by and do my yard in the morning anyways, because I paid for this month's service.
Right.
And also, I will pay you again on the 1st. Like, I don't know. It was just weird. So I texted him. I said, I'm no longer going to need your service. Thanks.
Please don't come back.
Just good. Then, of course, I get the text message back. Oh, what can I do? How can
Could
I
have
make
shown
this
up the past
right?
year.
I'm like, first of all, this is like the 4th time there's been a like issue. And I'm like, you weren't, oh, how can I make this right? And then he's like, oh, I'll offer you better pricing. I'm like, I would rather pay more money for someone to actually,
Do the work.
yeah, than like half-ass it. Like, you're half-assing it now. If I pay you less money, I can only
Yeah.
imagine how much worse it's going to get.
Yeah.
So I just was like, no, thank you. I hired someone else. Like, just one. I'm like, I don't want to engage with this. He keeps sending me text messages, like long text messages.
Block 'em.
Oh, he's so sad about losing your business. He hates that. Like, all this stuff. I'm like, dude, too little too late.
That's weird.
I probably should.
Yeah.
I don't respond to him. I haven't responded to him since I said, no, thank you. I hired someone else. But yeah, I'm like, it feels a little creepy. And I'm like, oh, and also this guy definitely knows where I live.
Where did you
So-
find him?
Well, he used to leave flyers out everywhere.
Okay.
And so I contacted him from that. And then I had somebody who I knew say, like, they knew who he was and, like, he was legit. So I was like, okay, you know. And I mean, I don't know if he is legit, but he
Wasn't for you.
wasn't legit at my house. He was pretty crappy. Like, I feel like my kids could do better yard work. I keep thinking I should just
Bye.
have my kids do the
Yeah.
yard work, but it's never going to happen.
We're getting our yard done.
I know. I'm so jealous. You're getting, like, sod.
And
It's going to
I
be...
didn't want sod, but he
thick
talked
and
me out of
fancy.
it.
Actually, I really don't care about having grass at all. Like, if it was
The
my
dog-
yard, I wouldn't have grass.
Every time a torpedo sees grass, he freaks
Aww.
out and like rubs in it and then like gets super stoked and then just lays in it and like literally looks like the happiest thing
That's sweet.
in the life. So I'm like, he needs some grass.
Yeah, he does.
But so yeah, our landscaper, which is our neighbor, is
Yes.
doing it.
Your neighbor landscaper. Your
I mean, we're
Neighbor.
paying him.
yard consultant.
Yes.
Because he's, like, kind of giving you this is how you do it.
hmm
Knock
Except for
yourselves out.
he's like me and you,
Oh.
where that's what he
Just
said.
Scoot over. I'll do it
Yep.
myself.
That's what he said was going to happen, but it's very much like, we'll be there, like, how can we help? He's like, I'm just going to do this. It's fine. And I'm like, oh, he's me.
Yeah. Can't stand to watch somebody, like, do it not quite right.
Which is fine. We talk all the time about, like, how our neighbors, the lady is exactly like Blake, and Tanner is exactly like me.
Yes.
So it's just more
That happens a lot.
proof.
Adam and I have some friends, same thing. Like, the lady and Adam, just alike. Her husband and me, like, we sit there and just chat for hours.
Mhm.
Like, and everywhere we go, she's like, oh, he's talking to people. And, you know, she just sits back, checks it out.
Yep.
That's funny. Well, you know, you need somebody who, like, fills things in for you, you know? Or, like, always feel like Adam is good at, like, just taking me down a notch. Not in a bad way.
Yeah.
But it's like, if I'm at, like, level 10, spazzy, he'll be like, hey, let's bring it down here.
Yeah.
Let's be like a 7. I don't get there. I'm maybe 8.5.
Don't get there.
But yeah, that's exciting though. If I had my, like, druthers, my own yard that I was starting from scratch in, I would probably just forego grass. Because I don't use grass. I don't sit on grass. I don't play on grass. I'm allergic to grass.
Oh, yeah. That's
I'd just rather not be around it.
I want, like, a place to play cornhole, you know?
You can play cornhole anywhere.
Yeah, but I want it to be on grass.
Oh, okay. What about AstroTurf?
I like grass.
I think I might, like, put out a thing of, like,
Fake grass.
fake grass.
Okay.
And then you can have the illusion of playing cornhole on grass.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the issue with our grass is that it was here long before we were. I mean, when I have had my own yard in the past that I planted myself, like, it was great.
Yeah.
But this situation, I don't even think anybody planted grass, honestly. I think it's like, this maybe used to be like a meadow. And this is just the, like, grass that would have grown there. Just like
It's just weeds.
shoddy crabgrass, and yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty rough. But it's not mine, so I don't really care. I try to care sometimes, but I mean, we try to keep it looking nice, but I'm like, I put all this effort into like trying to put seed down or something, you know, and then
Yeah.
it's like the sprinkler system is just set up absolutely whack. So that's like the first problem.
We actually have sprinklers.
That's
Well, actually, right now
amazing.
they're just little tubes coming out of the ground. There's no sprinklers on them yet. But
That's huge. And like when you get to actually plan the sprinklers yourself, you can make sure there's coverage and you know exactly what, you know, goes
seems
where.
like
and
there's a lot of sprinklers, but I was just like, okay,
there is.
Tana, you're
There
the
has to be.
expert.
But
Everybody that comes over is like, whoa, that's a lot of sprinklers. I'm like, I don't know, I didn't make it up.
well, I mean, it's not like you'll see them.
Right.
I mean, they'll be in the grass once you, yeah. I don't know. There's just like whole swaths of area in what should be the grass that get no water. And there's like nothing I can do to make it better except like literally go hand water it. And I'm like, dude,
just get one of those hose things, you know, that you turn on and it goes for a while.
that would require me like going out there and putting it out there every day and remembering that.
That's true.
I can't do it.
That's why you get one of those. You hook it up to a hose and have a timer.
And it just sits on your lawn?
Mhm.
Always?
Always. Well, until you go out there to play in it.
I
mean,
don't
how
know.
often are you out in the grass playing in it?
I don't know, but I want to look at a hose just across the whole yard.
I feel her on that.
It seems like it's not put away.
Keep your blinds closed.
Then what's the point in watering the grass if
Yeah.
you're not going to look outside?
Pool party?
Oh. I'm not having a pool party.
Your pool's set up.
She likes her pool.
We're drinking.
For
It's
her.
like a party.
I mean, I don't know. I've never had a pool party. I've never been like, hey, people, come be with me while I'm in a
my
bathing
relaxing
suit.
spot.
No, thank you.
I know there's our neighbors, the same neighbors. It's their daughter's first birthday this weekend, and they're like, "Come over, bring your suit." And I'm like, "My suit? Y'all don't have a pool."
Are
And
they
they're-
having a slip and slide?
And I'm like, "I'm not
They're
gonna
too
get a
old for that
bathing
shit.
suit and slip and sliding with all the kids."
Yikes. Yeah. I tried slip and sliding a couple years ago.
It hurts.
With my kids. Yeah, and I was like, well, now everything hurts.
Yeah, it literally hurts. I don't know how I ever was able to do that.
I'm for one thing.
Bouncy as a kid.
Yeah, well, I mean, you are a lot more like flexible and stuff, so that's a large part of it probably. But I mean, you also like don't have that much weight that you're hurling toward the ground.
That's true.
Like if you're 40 pounds, like, you know, you just slide across
Yeah.
the top. Where I would like jump and make a dent.
Yeah. You just kind of stop.
Not good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, good God, that hurt.
Well, and especially the ones that are literally just like a thin tarp that's over the grass. It's like every tiny bump in the grass, which there are bumps in the grass. You're like,
Yeah.
bum, 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 down your whole body. Is like, why am I doing this? This isn't fun.
My hips had just huge bruises on them. Like, I was like, well, I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
And it's funny because you like don't realize that you go from a place where like this is fun to like
this is
this
not.
is not fun.
Mhm.
It
It's not like
happens.
slip and slides are like the most common thing in the entire world either. So
but
like
it's
you might
lots
go
of stuff.
years. That's
Like-
true. I can't do the monkey bars. Blake and I tried to do the monkey bars the other day. I
Yeah.
can't get across the goddamn monkey bars.
Because like your ass is heavy now. Yeah. Your center of gravity is all fucked up.
Oh my God. I was like, I went up there. I'm like, oh, let's do this. And I was like, fuck,
Nope,
I can't do this.
done.
And Blake's like, what's wrong with you? And then he tried it. He's like, nope. can't.
I love it. I love that so much. Like, oh, I'm gonna show you. And
Well, because
then-
if anybody would have asked, I'd been like, yeah, I can do the monkey bars.
absolutely sure.
Nope,
Who
I can't.
just hold on to a bar. I mean, come on.
I had trouble on the. Someone said it was by a food truck. I'm not gonna lie. And they're on their little tent cover that they have. They got metal bars on the ground to hold it up, and I'm trying to, like, floor's lava kind of thing, and just keep my feet on it. That ain't happening at all. Like, try to keep my feet on this bar.
Like standing?
Yeah, just standing on it. I keep just like so wobbly, and just like my whole center of gravity is just all messed up.
You just like, I don't know if you're just so much in tune with your body when you're a kid, and I mean, obviously more flexible and more, at like some point I'm like, oh, I used to, be able to do this or that or balance, and this is not working.
Just your fear level, I feel like, is so much, like, I mean, I can still swing on a swing, okay, don't get me wrong, but like, I remember being a kid, and I'd go up to where I had no tension anymore, and I swear to God, I was like, up higher than like the bar that the chains are hanging from. And like, I lost a tiny bit of tension. I was like, nope, not doing that again. We're gonna just stay at a nice steady.
Well, when you're a kid, you first of all don't think anything is gonna happen to you. But even if you do break your arm, you're like, well, everybody at school signed my cast, and I can't swim for or whatever. Like, it's not the same as the like fear of all the repercussions when you're an adult. Like,
right.
Well, now I lost my house because I was swinging.
Oh, I was just thinking, like, doing something, going high on the swings. I remember, like, I just jump off of it and be like,
oh my gosh, you wouldn't ever find me jumping off a dang swing.
Yeah.
Nope.
Now I'm like, oh, I'll break a hip and die.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and it's lots of stuff like sledding. Not fun.
Oh, see, I never really sledded when I was
Oh,
that is a workout and a half.
I mean, yeah. Now you're like, you get to the bottom, then you're like, wait, I gotta climb back up that motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know what I've never found fun? Tubing.
Oh, yeah. That is another
Especially
one.
with other people.
Oh, that's a terrible
get your
choice.
fucking elbows away from me.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's tubing with another person on the tube is basically signing up for a concussion.
Especially like
you might
when
as well
your
just get hit in the head with
girls
a
and
hammer.
all your girls are on the boat or whatever, like you're in junior high school, and they want to get like freaking 4 of them on one of those big old tubes. I was like, count me out.
Yeah.
I don't want to be there. And they're
It's
like,
ugly.
why? I'm like, because I'm the smallest one, so all y'all jump and land on me.
Uh-huh.
So that's how that works.
Yeah. Somebody flies off, lands on top of you, cracks their head on the top of your head. Your chin hits the top of somebody else's head. It is not great.
Not into it. And every time I tell people that, they're like, no, it's so fun. I'm like, go screw yourself.
But even tubing, like, as an adult by yourself, I'm like, this fucking hurts. Like, you're, bouncing. I'm like, oh, my back.
Get me on one of those that has, like, the backrest.
And just chill?
And you just freaking chill there and, like, move. There's, like, not a whole lot of, like, boing and shit. Oh, okay, maybe. But I don't get behind a boat either, so.
Yeah.
I almost died kneeboarding once.
Kneeboarding.
Yeah, so.
I used to kneeboard too.
I was pretty young. My uncle had, like, strapped me in. I used to kneeboard with my dad a lot. And then this was, like, the first time I was really trying by myself.
Mm-hmm.
How me and my dad could both fit on a kneeboard, I don't know.
Wait a minute, with your dad.
But I did it a lot. I was little.
Oh, okay.
Like, I wasn't, like, 13. Like, I was, like, young. But.
That would be awkward.
So, yeah, I don't know how we did it. But so it was my first time I was with my uncle. He strapped me in. I, like, flipped upside down. And for whatever stupid reason, my reaction was to tighten.
Oh, no.
So I just dragged underwater for a long time.
You were still holding onto the rope. Yeah, that's not a good move.
No.
I mean, I have done that before. I've got it, like, caught on me before. Wakeboarding. That was not a choice time. But
I'm not into all that.
yeah.
I'll hang out on a boat all day. That's fine.
Yeah, that's nice.
I don't want to be behind it.
I won't do Sea-Doos anymore.
Oh, see, I love a jet ski.
Because every time I'm on one, friends we're trying to, like, throw each other off. Like, one time I just, like, as we're going just on a straightaway, I, like, was holding on to my buddy and just, like, slipped. Like, I wasn't doing anything. I just, like, trying to situate myself and just slipped and took him with me, and we both flew off. And I mean, we were going pretty fast because we're just going straight and just hit the water and just started bouncing. Totally messed up my ankle for like 3 weeks. And the jet ski went like 100 yards that we had to go swim to it. And I'm like, oh, my ankle. And then he's like, dude, that sucked. What happened? I was like, I don't know. I slipped. I'm sorry I took you with me. And he's like, well, now we got to swim all the way there. I was like, what do you mean we?
Maybe it's that combination of having two people on it. Maybe if you just keep the jet ski to one, it's okay.
Yeah, but I'd still be like 35 going, this is a safe speed for me now.
One time because we used to have one, and my brother brought a friend to the lake with us, and we look out, and my mom has, his name is Jesse, on the back, and they're going, then my mom gets faster. She kind of takes a turn. Jesse slips. All of a sudden, he's on his stomach, like perpendicular to my mom. So like he's like legs are this way, like, and he's just screaming like, stop! And my mom's just like at the front just freaking woo! And oh my gosh, we were dying. And he was like, he got back, he's like, I kept telling you to stop, I was barely hanging on. My mom had no idea.
Terrified. Oh, that's the worst. That feeling when you're like, I know this is going to end badly and I have no control over it.
And my mom was like, I know, it's fun.
He's screaming and she's like, yeah. That's awesome.
Oh, it was a good day.
Well, I haven't wakeboarded in many, many years because I crashed really hard one time. And same thing. Like, I was down for several days and I didn't have health insurance at the time.
Oh,
and I was like, I think I might have popped something inside of me, but I don't want to go to the doctor. I was still pretty young. I was like 22 or something. But I mean, I just never really could get back and do it again. Because, I mean, it's no fun to wakeboard and just stand there. You got to do cool tricks and try to jump the wake and stuff.
I mean, standing on it was, just a feat in itself for me.
Really?
I never tried.
Yeah.
Well, I did kneeboarding when I was a kid, and then we learned to water ski, and then I wakeboarded, and yeah, I don't know. I was one of those people like you just put me behind the boat, and we're like, okay, we're gonna go, and I just would pop up out of the water and be fine. So it wasn't like a struggle, but I remember trying to teach like my sister-in-law to wakeboard, and I don't know what she was doing. I couldn't figure out what.
I don't have balance.
I mean, the thing with wakeboarding is that when you start, you have to just like lean as far back as you possibly can, because the like force of the boat pulling you is what like pops you up out of the water. Well, if you're not doing that, it just pulls you forward. It's just like smack.
Yeah.
Smack.
I always had the problem of try to bring the rope to me. Mm-hmm. And that's always like, oh, now my weight's going on my front foot and I'm down.
Yeah, I watched her like get up and crash so many times. It was sad. I felt bad. I'm like, it's hard to explain to someone what you're doing when you don't really know what you're doing. You're like, I don't know. You just stand there. It works. It's fine.
But then once I got up, I was like, yeah. But then like I would always put all my weight on like my heels. So I'm always veering off and I was like, oh no. And so I'd always like start to go into something. So I'm like, oh no. And I just crashed down. So it took me a while to figure out, hey, if I don't do that and go on my toes, I can keep going back and forth.
He does not sound very coordinated. I'm like, you only do that when you want to turn, and then you carve, and then you jump the wake.
Yeah.
And then you get outside the wake, and then it's really smooth. And you get up next to the boat.
Yeah, then you hit the wave. You do a 360 in the air.
I could do a 360 not in the air. I still was holding the rope.
Again, just being up was good enough for me.
I was sitting in the boat watching the whole time.
Like I said, I was young. And, you don't have that fear of everything
dying.
bad. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I've always pretty much had a fear of being in pain, but
I don't know. I've done some
just
really
less
stupid
now.
stuff. And I've ended up in a lot of pain from it. And, like, pain I continue to be in from it. So, you're probably better off. Wasn't the
I
best
broke
choice.
my arms.
What? I've never broken anything.
Well, I mean, one was a fracture. They were both, well, one was a fracture, one was called a buckle, whatever the fuck that is. But they never broke all the way through, but they were broken.
They weren't like bones sticking out of the skin.
No, God, no.
I've broken a finger, just not bone sticking out of skin, but just
Was
inside
it
break.
this one?
She held up her middle finger, everyone. And no.
It was my pointer finger. Brad can't see.
Oh. No, playing basketball.
Oh.
Hit it wrong way.
I broke one of my arms playing basketball.
Really?
But I made the basket.
Like hit the ground?
Oh.
Yeah, but when I fell,
Yeah.
I like landed wrong and I tried to catch myself.
Ooh.
And that was the time I broke my arm and my mom was like, "You're fine." Like took me home, made me sit on the couch all night. And I'm like, "Mom, it really hurts." She's like, "You're fine. I'll be fine tomorrow." And I finally convinced her to take me to the doctor.
And what about the other one? How did that happen?
Snowboarding. That's why I don't snowboard.
Yeah. Snowboarding is a bitch.
I was on
It's
the
like
bunny slope.
wakeboarding, but I don't know. More painful? More concussion-y. I don't know. At least when you're skiing, like when I would ski and crash, I would just tweak the shit out of my knees or, and it was like, ow, that hurt and not great. But man, you crash snowboarding every time. It's like, well, now I've slapped my brain against the inside of my skull again. That's probably not great for it.
I just fell and tried to catch myself.
Maybe apparently I fall too much. Apparently I was not trying to catch myself, and that's why my head is getting hit so much.
Which is so interesting because like I used to drink so much milk. I think my
Yeah.
bones would be fine.
And I have always been kind of milk averted. What is the right way to say
Aversion.
that? And yeah, yet I have not broken a lot of bones. But I always like ate cheese and had ice cream and I always had yogurt. Like every day basically. So I guess I was probably getting some calcium.
Mm-hmm.
That's the important part, right?
Mm-hmm.
And also the vitamin D. Shut it. Everybody's making googly eyes.
I don't know why.
Brad does.
Vitamin D, Jesse. The D.
Oh.
Get it?
Yeah, just call that Dick.
Vitamin D.
Nickname for it.
Got that vitamin dick going.
Oh my goodness. Yikes. So I am in the process of interviewing people for work. We have usually, like, we don't get a lot of applicants that are male. And I had a couple this time. One of which I'm interviewing tomorrow. And I'm like, he seems like he might be a good fit. And we have had a all-female office now for like 2 years. And all the girls at work are like, oh no, it's going to be weird. There's a boy around. I'm like, well, maybe we shouldn't just all be quite so comfortable talking about our periods. Like,
Maybe he'll sing
Watch
with you
him be
ladies.
gay or something.
I know. And he's
And
like,
really nothing changes.
Yeah.
bitch, are you menstruating?
Because I brought candy bars.
That would be amazing.
That would be great.
I would love that. Yeah, I'm like, but it is kind of disturbing, like the level of conversation we have sometimes that I'm like, man, there are way too many women working in this office.
Yeah. We mostly just have women too. Poor Courtney.
Yeah.
But I think he's pretty used to it, so.
Well, I mean, every time Shark Week comes around, it's like hilarious. This whole conversation is like, well, did you start? Well, when did you start? Well, I started on Tuesday. Oh, I started on Monday. What? It's like,
I know everybody's always talking about if we're all going to be on the same schedule. And I'm like, I'm on birth control, so I'm going to stay on that schedule.
Right.
Regardless of what y'all bitches are doing.
you should just ask them a bunch of interpersonal questions and then sync yourself with your birth control.
When do you start? I'm going to start my birth control right after.
They're like, we can all be on the same cycle.
I did convince at least one girl to try the menstrual cup though,
Oh, nice.
because she's going to be on her period on her wedding day.
Mm.
And she's like, I'm not really looking forward to changing my tampon in a wedding dress.
Yeah.
And I was like, you can wear this
Get
thing for
used to
12
it
hours.
now. Yeah. But, like,
So,
get used to it and
yeah,
see
so
what
she
you think
started.
about it
She's like, I
beforehand.
actually like it. I think I might use it more than that. I'm like, I told you. It's great.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'm not really sure what form of I almost said protection, but that's not the right word.
Form of blood protection from the world.
Yes.
You got to protect the world from the blood.
You gotta protect the world from the bears.
Mm-hmm. They could smell the menstruation.
I don't know what kind of shark protection everyone's using, but
Shark protection.
speaking of bears smelling menstruation, we watched Anchorman with the boys last weekend. It was hilarious.
Will Ferrell's on the Armchair Expert.
I know, I saw.
It's good.
Oh my gosh, and I saw the pictures of him. His hair is so gray. It's not even his hair, because, I mean, I've seen his hair with, like, gray in it, but his eyebrows have gone, like, completely gray and white. And I'm like, oh, he doesn't quite look the same, you know? Because you, like, can't really see. I was shocked, but I'm like, I am also much older than I was when those movies came out.
Making everything, yeah.
Yeah. But the boys loved it. I mean,
That's
there were a
great.
couple things that I was like, not the best. But a lot of it, like, if they don't understand it, kind of goes over their head anyway.
Yeah.
But they had some really good laughs over the whole thing. And, of course, Brick is their favorite.
Mm-hmm.
They just think he's the best thing. Jackson's like, if he wasn't even in the movie, it wouldn't even be funny.
He's so dramatic.
I know. I'm like, okay. I'm like, yes, he is funny. The other guys are funny too, but I think that the other guys will be more funny as they get older,
Yeah.
because of, like, their characteristics and stuff. I think they like Brick because it's, like, the stupid humor.
Right.
He's just like,
It's easy to get.
yeah, he's putting mayonnaise in a toaster. What? Yeah, it's been fun, like,
That's great.
watching all these movies with them. I mean, I kind of have to slowly dole them out and gauge. A lot of them I haven't seen in so long that
You
I'm
forget
like,
some of the nasties.
oh, that's not appropriate.
Have you seen Cat in the Hat with the Michael Myers?
No.
I try not to.
I watched. It
I did see it.
I watched it the other day, and it had been forever since I've seen it, since it, like, first came out.
Yeah.
It has got a lot of crude jokes. Like, at one point,
I love it when
he picked.
kids movies have crude
Yeah.
jokes. Like, here's something
Shrek.
for the adults.
Yeah.
Shrek is great for
Yeah.
that. All of those movies.
I didn't remember half of it, and he's like, oh, looks like, oh, who's this? Is this your mom? And, like, his hat would just from crumpled to straight up, and then he's like, oh, and then he'd, like, turn around and he, like, stuck it, like, in his skin, I guess, and then goes back
Ew.
around. It's like, that just got awkward. That's a kids movie. I don't remember this part.
Yikes. Yeah, I guess we watched it when it very first came out. I feel like we watched it in a theater, but I can't imagine why that was.
Right.
Maybe we took, like, nieces or nephews or something. I don't remember, but I vaguely remember Michael Myers.
All right, that's yeah.
Mike Myers' face as the cat, but I also remember it not being great.
Yes.
Yes and yes.
Yes.
True.
And yes. Yeah.
Got it.
Correct.
Correct.
That's the whole thing. That's
Still-
the movie.
Yeah. Even after watching, I'm like, yeah, this was not a good movie. But he was, from what I hear, forced to do that movie.
Oh, one of
Like,
those contract things.
Yeah, kind of broke a contract, and so it's like, oh, hey, you broke the contract. Well, now you're forced to do one of our movies. We get to choose which one.
Yay. How fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting listening to, like, podcasts and stuff and interviews of people that are, like, not in a magazine, where they write all flowery about everything. Like, you kind of hear, like, the true, like, grit of stuff, and
Yeah.
especially, like, the Hollywood behind the scenes stuff. I think in our culture we, like, worship fame.
Yeah.
It's so, like, that's the ultimate thing, is to be famous and rich, right? But the more I kind of like see behind that, the more I'm like, yeah, that's bullshit.
I would love if I were to be famous, I would want to be the type of famous like where sure people know you, but they like don't recognize you really like out in real life. Like Sia, for instance. What a good life.
Well, she did play that game well.
And like, oh my gosh. Okay, some of the funniest things on the internet. If you follow Tony Hawk's Twitter.
Yes. That is hilarious.
Okay. All the time he just gets like there's one time he's going through airport security and the guy like looks at his thing and says like Anthony Hawk. He's like, "Oh yeah, kind of like that Tony Hawk guy." You know, and he's like, "Yeah, kind of like him, you know."
Just
and the
like
guy's
him.
like, "I wonder what he's doing these days." And he's like, "This. He's doing this."
Yeah.
He's going through
And
security.
like he has like 20 examples of this shit.
Yeah.
Like one person saw like a bunch of skateboards on the plane or whatever, like up in the like thing. She's like, "What's like Tony Hawk on this plane or something?" And he's like,
Yes, I
Yeah.
am.
Yeah.
Right here.
but he gets it all the time. Or like people will tell him like, "Oh, has anybody ever told you kind of look like Tony Hawk?"
Yeah. Because everyone knows his name and everyone knows he's a skateboarder, but there are fewer people who would be
Really know what he looks like.
able to pick him out of a crowd.
And he's
Like,
just like a normal looking dude. And now that he's way older too, I think it doesn't.
I think
Yeah.
I
like,
could
help.
pick him out of a crowd, even at an older age, because like I've followed him, you
Right.
know, and seen him doing stuff older, and
Right.
like, I mean, always like paid kind of attention to that scene, but
But then I might wonder if I'd think that guy kind of
Kinda
looks like Tony Hawk.
Hawk.
Or if I'd know it was him.
right.
Right.
But it's just so interesting.
And what's the worst that can happen? Just go for it. Be like, Tony Hawk.
And he's like, "No."
You're like, yeah, I get that all the time. But it really is him, and he's just, oh yeah, I get that all the time. It's not me.
But yeah, so I think it'd be interesting to be a famous person that really doesn't get recognized.
And that's funny because he is famous in a way that like he has so much name recognition. I mean, he's like very much like branded,
Yes.
you know? And so even like my grandparents, if he said Tony Hawk,
No.
they
who he
would
is.
know he's a skateboarder.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. People don't really know him.
And then so he can live a normal life.
Right.
Well, I think that's like weird when bands do it. Like, I mean, Daft Punk and the Gorillaz. I have no idea what they look like.
No faces.
No faces.
So they can live a
Kiss.
normal ass life. Nobody knows.
Mm-hmm.
Kiss, you'd think that's what they're doing, but they just
No.
like go to Starbucks with that makeup on, so people will be like, "Hey, you're the guy from Kiss."
'Cause, yeah, I think that's what turns me off about it. I don't want people fucking following me everywhere. Like,
I just hate the shit. It's like, well, there's Ben Affleck at a McDonald's again. Looks like he's gained some weight. And it's like, really? He's a fucking
Oh
normal
my
human
god!
person
If
that
somebody
just wants
followed
to get
me around
something.
and judged all of my choices, like, do you know how like awful that would be?
Right. I think you've got to
It's
like.
bad enough I judge my own choices and talk shit to myself. Like,
Right.
I don't need like a publication and ergo the world
right.
Right.
saying like, "Oh, do you really need another cheeseburger?"
Right.
No, I
Especially
don't
the-
need a cheeseburger. I fucking know I don't need a cheeseburger.
Especially the pictures at the beach. Look at these people, and I'm like, come on, you literally had to like wait until like the worst possible moment for them.
No,
Right.
they had their camera on like sports mode and they snapped 3,000 pictures. And then they were like, "Oh, look at this one. The lighting's just right." And she jumped and you can see the cellulite on her leg.
Yeah.
Like, "Oh, look at her now." I don't know. I would like to think that shit is getting better. Because
A little bit. People are more.
body positive, forgiving of other humans, realize that, you know, supermodels are still people.
And a lot of times I'll come out now and be like, yeah, like, I have some cellulite.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm a normal person.
moving on. And then it doesn't give the
Just like you.
paparazzi much to.
They don't have any power.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta love, like, somebody like Chrissy Teigen, who people idolize,
Yeah.
who takes a picture of herself with her breast pumps on,
Yep.
you know, and her mesh underwear that hold your giant pad in after
Yep.
you've had a baby, and posts it on the internet for like, fuck you people.
Yep.
This is what real life is.
Yeah.
Also, I just created a human.
Right. Like, leave me the fuck alone.
It's so sad. But
We were listening to like a country station or whatever, and the lady was like, congratulations to Randy Hauser, like just had a baby last night, baby boy named so and so, like told us how much she weighed, and I like looked at Blake, I'm like, do people care?
what is happening? Yeah. Also, he didn't have a baby. His wife did.
Well, yeah, I'm just like I like just really don't give a shit. Like, good
Right.
for him, but like, do I need to know that?
Right.
Well,
Well, yeah, because that's that level of like intimacy that no, we don't need to know that. Keep that shit to yourself so that
On
you can protect
Carpool-
it.
Yeah, on Carpool Karaoke, Celine Dion was on it. It's a great Carpool Karaoke, by the way. You should watch it.
Sounds good. Okay.
She's freaking hilarious. But James asked her what it was like to be her level of famous, because she's like,
Yeah.
more famous than like
Also,
anyone in the world.
literally everyone knows who she is.
Right. And she's like, oh, I don't even want to talk about it. It's like, no, like, I need to know something. And she's like, the worst thing was when I was in the hospital in labor, having my first son, she says, baby comes out, you know, I figured they were cleaning him or what the fuck ever. She's like, I look over at the TV and the doctor has my baby on the news. The world saw my baby before I did.
Oh, that's awful.
I was like, oh my God.
She had her kids back before people were like, oh, we're going to rent this entire
Right.
hospital floor and shut this shit down.
Right. So
That
yeah, her
doctor-
doctor was being interviewed with the baby, and then she hadn't even gotten it yet.
That's horrible.
I hope she got millions from
I
that.
hope, yeah, I
Hospital.
hope that doctor lost his job. What an asshole.
Right?
Yeah.
So she's like, yeah, and I'm like, oh my God, I could never.
That's crazy. And also uber disgusting.
It's awful.
I don't know what possesses you. I mean, I suppose in the doctor's mind, he's like, now I get my 15 minutes of fame.
Right.
You know?
Mhm.
People are just hungry for that attention. I don't know.
The world.
It does
has
not
issues.
seem great. Well, and I mean, I'm sure that there are ways you can handle it. Like, Kristen Bell, like she,
Won't show her kids.
yeah, doesn't show her
Mhm.
kids' faces. So, and if she's in public and somebody comes up to her, she just says like, oh, this is my time with my kids right now.
Right.
You know, respectfully. Like, I'm not working.
Yes.
And, you know, that's probably a good way to handle it because,
How do you say anything back to that?
yeah.
Nope, I need a picture.
No,
Well, that's
I
why you
insist.
just put a blanket over their head and then drape them out of a window. Let everyone
hold
take
them
the
over
picture.
a balcony.
Exactly.
Over a crowd. That's just fine. And then we'll call you Blanket.
Yeah.
It's fucking creepy. I don't understand why. I mean, so many things went on with Michael Jackson over the years. And I know that people loved his music, but it is just mind-blowing that people were willing to just brush aside all the crazy shit. Like, never did someone just be like, nope, we're done. That's enough. It was always like, well, that was a poor choice, but, you know, he's the king of pop. What the fuck? Everyone just like, oh yeah, that happened. If that was anyone else, if Prince Harry had took his baby out and hung it over a balcony at the royal palace or whatever, like, don't you think that some shit would have gone down?
Yeah.
I mean,
British people, I also feel like, don't put up with that kind of shit.
Oh, no, not at all.
I don't
They're
know.
like, no,
Yeah, shut that down.
not here. We're more classy than that, bitches.
Maybe that's why we have such infatuation with the royal family as Americans.
You know, I don't know what it is.
Okay,
I'm
you know,
not
people
that
say
excited
that-
about him. honestly.
People say that, but like the United Kingdom gets fucking stoked on them.
Yeah, but I don't understand why
Oh, yeah.
U.S. people do.
Well, okay, so for one thing, It's been indoctrinated into our lives since we were children. What did you get? What stories did you see? What movies did you see? It's all a princess. A princess, a princess, a princess. Disney has 456,000 of them at this point.
Right.
You're supposed to be
It's still only
a
like
knight
14.
on a horse.
King.
Or a prince but he's hunting and you don't know he's a prince.
Oh no, if I were going to be a member of the royal family, I would want to be like in Prince Harry's position.
Oh,
You get all the money, you get all the whatevers, and you have no responsibilities.
Yeah.
You can go out and get wasted. You can marry a half black chick. Nobody cares because you're never going to be king.
Right.
Never.
Especially if William and Kate keep popping babies out.
Like, his chances get smaller by the moment.
It's crazy that, like, they're like, well, here's this baby. He's 2. He's going to be king before you.
Yep.
The whole thing's
And
crazy.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. No,
I hope he's fucking fine with that.
that would be the best life for sure. Or even the other grandkids, their cousins. I can't remember their names, but there's 2 girls.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they got all the monies and stuff too.
You still get to travel around and chill with people
Although, I
and meet
think
people.
Their wedding probably, because one of them got married recently, was only like, a tenth of what the other one cost or whatever.
I don't need
But
a big
still.
wedding like that.
Oh no, God, can you imagine? I don't know.
William and Kate's was wild. That was actually really cool to be in England for that.
Yeah.
Because it just everybody.
Oh no, I know. Like
Stops
the whole country is like
what they're
freaking
doing.
excited.
Mm.
But I did have a major crush on William when I was a little tween. And I was like, I'm going to marry him. He's
Because
gorgeous.
he wanted to be a princess.
I didn't even really want to be a princess. And
She's
his
"That
grandma looked
ginger
like a
fuck,
bitch.
I want him."
But he was so cute. And then
he got bald.
he turned into a big old horse face.
He got bald.
And then, little did you know, Harry, who was always in the shadow, turned out to
Adorable.
be the adorable one. Gah. Plus, I love Ginger.
Except for William
Well
did pretty
established.
well with the wife, man.
Oh, yeah.
I'd take Kate Middleton over
she's a
Meghan
classy
Markle
lady.
any day.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, she does seem like a classy lady. I know nothing about any of them, honestly. I'm not that excited about it. I think that in general, our country is like very excited because, well, first of all, we broke off from them, right? Like, there's the whole, we technically used to have a king. And then we were like, no. And
I really like the idea of a royal family, of a monarchy.
what? It is fucking bullshit.
I like the idea of it.
It is the wildest thing when you think that a person has been appointed by God and therefore any wretched shit that they give birth to therefore also deserves.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying, the theory of the fact that they have a representative of their country that nobody fucking hates. Everybody loves the royal family. They get to represent the United Kingdom with no political, agenda, really. Like, they're pretty neutral.
Yeah.
Like, it's just somebody to, represent your country.
Well, because they have Parliament making.
Well, yeah, the
all
Queen
the
doesn't make a
decision.
damn decision.
Yeah.
They used to,
Yeah.
sure, but they don't know. She doesn't make a decision about shit
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, are we sure she's still alive?
Yeah. She just met
She
Trump.
might be
You
robots.
can't say she's cute.
robots inside of
True.
skin at this point.
That could be too.
She's
She's so old.
She's just gonna live forever. It is gonna be sad when she dies. Like, there are gonna be a lot of people that just lose their minds.
Yes, I'm sure that's true.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone's gonna take out Prince Charles. Ooh.
His brother. Dun 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 dun.
But then William
Shit
gets
could
it.
get crazy.
There's already been like rumor that it was gonna skip over Charles, like that William was gonna ascend to the throne. It's like been.
Because isn't he just married in?
No, Charles is her real son.
Oh, I'm thinking of the wrong person.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy. It's a
wild.
crazy thing.
Speaking of overthrowing kings, guess what, you guys?
Who are you overthrowing? That doctor?
Adam and I got tickets to go see Hamilton.
No way.
Oh,
Yes.
awesome.
We're going for our anniversary. So we're going to go down to San Francisco, see Hamilton one night,
I've heard it's just so freaking good.
go to the Giants game another night, and come home. And then we have to be home because Remy's in All-Stars in baseball, so we have to go to his games.
Look at him.
He's a mean little catcher. I mean, I always think he's good, but I'm like, he's my kid, so of course
You
I'm
are
going to
his
think
mom,
that.
so you're a little bit.
Yeah, I'm a little biased.
Yeah.
Hey, little Posy.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, he's going to go all the way.
Call him Rosie. Like, get it?
Remy
Remy and
Posey.
Posey. Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. Plus, he gets so bright red when he is hot.
Oh my god, and he's a redhead.
And he's a redhead.
Oh my god,
No.
Rosie. I'm gonna make him a fucking shirt.
Um,
And Rosey. You know,
and
Yeah.
he always is telling us how he's going to be either a professional baseball player,
Okay.
a professional dirt bike rider,
Okay.
the singer for a punk band,
Great. Okay.
or a missionary.
Oh,
It's quite the round that
Wow.
out,
Okay. All right.
those are some different avenues.
right?
All of them are like wildly different.
Yeah.
Like one, I mean, two of them are kind of similar, sporty, but like one's like artsy,
Mm-hmm.
one's like gaudy.
Mm-hmm. More service. Yeah. Yeah. So he has some interesting ambitions.
And watch, he's gonna be not one of those things someday.
I know, right?
Theoretical physicist.
Oh, no, I don't see that happening. Although, he has gotten 100% on every single test he's taken this year at school.
Wow.
Ooh,
Every single one. It was wild.
on a roll.
But yeah, so, but when we go to games, like we were out of town last weekend, and the coach from the other team came over and talked to him and was like, oh, you did great, blah, blah, blah. Parents from the other team came over and were like, hey, good game, buddy. You're a great catcher. Like all this stuff.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, so I mean, maybe he's kind of good. No, he's pretty good. But I mean, he's also 10, so not a lot of competition. And in a tiny town, also not a lot of competition. But yeah, so yeah, he's in All-Stars, so we're going to have more weekends of baseball. Yay.
Blake signed up for softball again.
Oh, I'll come with you and watch games.
Okay.
Cheer. We can get the cowbell. I'm so bummed there's no like local baseball. We can just act a fool at his games.
I'm sad about the heat.
I know. I was thinking we need to try to go to some River Cat games because I mean at least they're close.
Yeah.
And they have that more like small town, you know,
Yeah, one of our
fun local baseball
our
stuff.
friends like throwing a surprise party for her husband at the River Cats next Friday. Blake and I are trying to decide if we want to go.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
So she's just saying like, oh, we're going to a game, but then when you get
Well, they're doing
there,
like a tailgate party beforehand. He might know about that, but she like got this whole like little VIP section, like bought a
Oh,
bunch of tickets, and
that's
then like they get to like go out on the field before the game or something, and she said there's another surprise there. And I was like, really?
Ooh.
I know.
Yeah.
So we gotta figure that out. The problem is then like one of us, we either have to like stay the night in Sac,
Right.
which we can't really stay at Teresa and Brett's because Brett doesn't really know this is happening, so it can't be like, can we
Right.
stay at your house that night?
Right.
And then, or somebody has to not drink so we can drive home.
Yeah, it's always kind of a bummer. You need a teenage kid.
Right?
Gotta hop on that train.
In 17, 18 years, you're going to be set. Now, my teenage kid is going to be ready to drive in just a couple, so
Aiden just failed his permit test, so
Oh, no.
we got a minute for that.
Oh no, that's no fun. Yeah.
Apparently, that's the Barstow way.
Oh, cool.
So,
Well, did I ever tell you that I failed my first driving test?
did you?
Uh-huh.
What did you do wrong? Backing up along a curve?
Gosh, I'm trying to remember. It was
written
so
one,
long
or
ago.
Like
Well, Aiden failed his written one.
Okay.
I think she's saying she failed her driving
I
one.
failed my driving one.
Oh.
So I took my first driving test in Quincy, which I'd never driven over there before and didn't even know the town at all. So that was awkward. So we went over there, went to DMV. I'm trying to remember why, what happened. I feel like I don't know, drove too far in the turn lane or something.
Oh, jeez.
And then
There's some stupid shit. I'm like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and then so I, had to wait a couple weeks and then go back and take it. So when I went back to go take it again, we went to Susanville because even though it was in a different county, it's actually closer. And I knew Susanville. I
Right.
knew the roads a little bit, and so it wasn't just a foreign place. And it went fine.
Yeah.
That's where I did mine.
Not a problem. Take you out on the hill and make you parallel park on the hill.
No.
Oh.
Mine
Oh.
was super
Which way are you going
easy.
to turn those tires?
Yeah, you don't have to do anything hilly in Chico. There's not a fucking hill around.
I know.
But, I mean, there are some very
If you
close.
look away.
Yeah.
Not in town. And, but yeah, I was so on top of my shit. My 15th and a half birthday, I took my permit test,
Yeah.
got my permit. My 16th birthday, I took my driving test.
Oh, wow. You were really, really on
I
it.
was not fucking around. I was
Yeah.
getting that goddamn license.
I was not that excited about it. My parents really forced the issue.
My brother did
They
not
wanted
get
a
his
taxi.
license till after he was 18.
So did my brother.
Just didn't care.
I did the same thing as you, Jesse. Before I even got into high school,
You had it all planned out.
I
to
took the
day.
driving. Well, no, I took the driving course,
Right.
so I didn't because I was like, I'm already 15 and a half. I could do that.
Yeah.
So they're like, all right. And so I did it. But so I was like, hey, so now that I'm at, in high school, what do I do now that all my other classmates are taking the driving, course?
Oh, you guys had it
I
at
already-
school?
Yeah, and I already had
Oh,
it done.
We didn't have that option.
I did.
You
do
had
it
to,
outside
like-
of school.
Go to whatever.
Oh yeah, we had it at school, and then once you get a B or better in the class, then you can go do the driving around with somebody, and then you go, and once you have so many hours on that, then you go and do the driving test, and then after that you do the driving. You actually do the driving part or the course or whatever.
Right.
Not a course, but
The physical driving
Yeah.
test. Yeah.
which I mean, I think the only things that they busted me on that part was not knowing where my emergency flashers were
Oh, get you every time.
because I was in.
Was somebody else's car.
Yep.
Yeah, that same.
And
And I think that was my thing too. I was just so psyched out because I was driving a car I wasn't used to.
Yeah. Well, that's why, because my parents had gotten my car by then, but it was a stick. I'm like, I'm not taking my driving test.
exactly
Yeah.
my thing. Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I mean, I drove my mom's car all the time, so it wasn't
Yeah.
crazy, but
My dad's like, here, you can use the Lexus. I was like, well, can you teach me stuff about it? Like where everything is? And they're like, yeah, here's the air conditioner. Here's where you put your seat
It's
back.
the radio.
Yeah. And I'm like, nah.
No. Things that actually.
And so
they're
I'm
going
like,
to ask me about.
but I mean, you get, as soon as I got in my car, I knew where everything was, but I was like, I'm not going to drive a stick during the test.
No.
Yeah, that would be kind of difficult.
Yeah, everybody said just don't, because it's just
one more thing to think about.
Yeah, one
Yeah.
more thing for them to get you on.
One,
Right.
I insisted that I learn to drive a stick first.
Right.
And so I was fine doing it, but yeah, it's just one more thing to be oh,
It's
What the
crazy how many
pop the
people
clutch.
can't drive a stick.
it is wild.
Mm-hmm.
And
At all can't.
yeah, I know. Adam can't.
It's crazy.
And I told him, when we were first dating, I was like, I'll teach you how to drive a stick. And,
you haven't?
well, first of all, I don't even know anybody who has a car that's a stick anymore.
I just got rid of mine.
Well, my brother just got a Jeep. I wonder if it's a stick or an automatic. But
I actually really miss mine.
yeah. But yeah, the longer we've been together, I'm like, I'm probably not the best person to try to teach you. Him and I have very different learning and teaching styles.
I can believe that.
Yeah. So I probably would just end up yelling or
I was
something.
about to say, you're just going to yell at him the whole time.
Why would you do that?
That's what my dad does.
Yeah, I'd spent some time crying when I first learned to drive.
Well, my dad let me drive the Thing, which not only is it a stick, which I had, by the time I drove that, I'd been driving a stick for a while, but it's just so old
Yeah.
and like so much harder.
Well, and especially with older cars, like every clutch was different.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I grinded the gears once, and holy shit, it was like I fucking totaled his car. And I'm like, okay, you gotta give me a little bit of leeway here.
Right.
But so, nope, then it ends up I'm driving down the road, bawling in this little car.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And he's yelling at me, and I'm like, okay, I can't. I pulled over. I'm like, just freaking go. I don't want to drive it anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess at least my boys probably won't cry.
Never know.
I definitely cried. Dads are scary.
Dads are scary.
We're all scary.
My dad's not so scary anymore, but
No.
he used to be.
Mine either. It's like once they stop having power over you, they don't seem to be quite as scary.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, nice. That's a great suggestion.
Yeah, I can like tell him no now and be like, nah, I don't want to do
I
that.
don't think so.
And I'm like,
Yeah, but
sometimes I'll still like look back and be like,
am I gonna get away with this? Is he coming? Is he following me?
oh, that's funny.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, so I don't know how we got to that, but
Me neither.
we're going to see Hamilton.
Oh, that's sweet.
I'm super, super, super excited.
I'm excited for you.
Adam and I are like have been like obsessed with the soundtrack separately for like a long time. And then a few months back I like said something, or he like saw it on my phone and he was like, have you been listening to the Hamilton soundtrack? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, so have I. I was like, why didn't you say something?
Oh, that's funny.
I kind of wasn't sure if I wanted to listen to it beforehand initially. So I held off listening to it for a really long time. But it's so good. So
I've heard. I haven't really listened to it.
I'm really excited. It'll be fun.
But yeah, I feel like I wouldn't get excited about it without seeing the show. That's kind of why I haven't listened to it.
You wouldn't get excited
Like,
about it?
I wouldn't get excited about the soundtrack without having seen it.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. We played it for the boys and everything. They're into it.
Maybe I
mean,
should try it one of these
It's
days.
very entertaining because it's set up, you know, in the like story arc and everything. So, yeah, it's pretty good. Shall we wrap things up?
Let's do it.
I don't think sanding gumdrops on the air would be
I almost grabbed one and I was like,
fabulous. They're pretty noisy.
not gonna work.
But once these are all done, they're going to be multicolored gumdrops. And they are going to go in the sea of swirly, twirly gumdrops next to the 7 levels of the candy cane forest and before the Lincoln Tunnel. Oh, I might have also got a 6-foot blow up of Will Ferrell dressed as Buddy the Elf doing the like excited face.
Oh gosh.
I'm
Are
very
these
excited.
gonna be solid colors or like swirly?
Oh, solid. The swirls are separate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we'll definitely get some pics up eventually. But I can post pictures of the drinks. Alrighty. So drink up, people.
You have craft to do.
Goodbye.
Bye.